It's Monday once again, folks. All those people that are watching or will be watching in Lower Paxton Township, Dauphin County, of course, in Pennsylvania, also the United States of America. You're watching, whether you like it or not, another edition of Linglestown Gazette Live. And of course, as always, this year, 2026, we're being sponsored by our friends over at Blue Line Pools and Outdoor Living. They're headquartered on North Mountain Road, very close to the Turkey Hill Minute Market. And they do amazing things for your backyard. They're custom in-ground pools, outdoor living space installations. They erect retaining walls, patios, walkways, and lighting. And I do have some samples to show you tonight, a couple. The ones I like the best are the nighttime shots of these pools. And that's just an example of the lighting that they can do. And I don't think that there's blue dye in that water. That may be a lighting effect as well. And then hardscaping, and many times the hardscaping will create a patio or it'll be around a pool. Look at the beautiful patchwork there as far as the different colors in the pavers. And I believe there may be some sort of, right in the foreground here, some sort of cooking thing, maybe a grill. I'm not sure. There's a handle there. It looks like you can pick it up. But all this is brought to you by Blue Line Pools and Outdoor Living. I mean, what we looked at here is some of their more high-end jobs that they have done in the past, recent past. But they do, if you just want a basic pool and, some pavers around it, something very, very simple. I mean, they'll work with you. You just get in touch with the owner, Jason Myers, and either Jason or someone else in our staff will work with you to come up with a plan. My name, of course, is Bill Bostic. I'm the longtime publisher, editor, reporter for Linglestown Gazette. And before we get into the meat of the show, one of the things I wanted to update you on is that you see up in the upper right-hand corner our logo. That's the one that's been used forever, probably over a decade. Something that I threw together and have just been using it. So over the weekend, introduced a new logo, and we'll put it up there instead of what's there. So there's the new logo, modernized logo too. And I actually this is a team project. My longtime friend Scott Silverstein, big time Harrisburg Bicycle Club bicycle rider, and he travels the whole East Coast delivering cars for Faulkner. Anyways, he came up with the basic design, and then two people on my team work with, one specifically worked with AI to redo what Scott put together, and this is what we came up with. So, and then to get the full logo, which will probably show up on our website that'll be made sometime during the first half of the year, you'll get this effect. You can't see it very well up in the upper right-hand corner, but you have the triangle, Linglestown Gazette, and then our tagline, your community, your news. But we'll go back to just the logo there. So that's brand new. It sort of signifies a new day, a new projects, and there's other new things happening. But beyond all that, I wanted to just give you a quick update what this show is. There's been some confusion. I mean, Linglestown Gazette, I started back up after a 6-year layoff early last year. And shortly after I started, I don't know the exact date, but it was probably February. That's when everything started happening at the township, January or February, whenever Robin Lindsay resigned, and then there was, all hell broke loose basically in the township, and what preceded was an outrageous number of meetings where, things were out of control. So I started this thing and jumped right in on all that coverage with the happenings at with the Lower Paxton Township Board of Supervisors. And since then, I mean, I was working full time for a company. I have some family responsibilities, just life events, living, so I was trying to do all this stuff on the fly. So what I'm saying is that Linglestown Gazette, even up to today, is really a work in progress. And I don't have legions of people working with me. Look around, there's no one here. I do have some volunteers, some very faithful volunteers, but a lot of the stuff comes down to me deciding what we're going to do. I know some people have been on my rear end in recent weeks. I've heard the complaints. We're making some adjustments. We're introducing some new things that I'll roll out here. So I just wanted to let you know that this and what you're watching it's not a newscast like the 6 o'clock news or 11 o'clock news. It's a news magazine. So you're going to get a mix of things, some news, some entertainment, some guests, sports, local events, all this kind of stuff will get packaged in here. And as I get more help and as I get more episodes under my belt, it should get better. So that's the thing. Some people were confused. What is this show? It's a news magazine, a variety of things. One last thing as far as an update before we get into our icebreaker. We do have a brand new sponsor that signed on just today. And this is Sharon Stump. She's a State Farm insurance agent and has an agency, has quite a few staff members to assist her. So it's a great place to go. They went over my insurance portfolio with the auto, home, and an umbrella policy. So we took a look at that to see if they could help me out. And I also have a look at I think I have one of their office. I may not. Let's see. But the office, it's prominently marked with Sharon's name, Sharon Stump, State Farm logo, all that kind of thing. Or just on North Mountain Road, maybe a block and a half off the square. That's where they're located. Big parking lot in the back, a stately home that the office is in. Very nice facility. So we want to thank Sharon Stump and her staff for signing on, and look for some short videos from them that talk about what's going on in the insurance and financial services business. All right, I think that means it's time to jump into our icebreaker. I want to bring in our ongoing guest, Anthony Cristillo. Anthony, welcome to the studio.
How you doing, Bill?
I am doing fine. I got the show put together minutes before we were supposed to go on, so that's
Right.
good. That's good. Are you prepared to go tonight?
I'm just waiting for you.
All right. Hey, how did you celebrate President's Day? That's what I want to know. It's
Well,
President's Day.
yeah. I started out with 4 shots of espresso today instead of just
Really?
2. Yeah.
Oh my God. Were
It
were
was.
you wired?
Yeah. No, I wasn't wired. I was
Okay.
calm. I was calm.
All right.
So what you mentioned yesterday or Saturday at the shop that
Yeah.
people were giving you a hard time about the way you pronounce days of the week. What day is today?
Today, the way I like to say it, and I have to change, it's Monday.
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 Okay.
It's
All right.
Monday. Monday.
It's
Okay.
Monday. All right.
Tomorrow's Tuesday. Okay. So
Okay. Yeah. Just making that clear.
I wanted to let you know, Anthony. I did something that anyone that lives on the East Shore shouldn't do, or is warned not to do. I crossed over into the West Shore this afternoon to visit the Capital City Mall with my granddaughter.
Yeah. You got to be careful doing that. And especially coming back. You got to get back before it's dark.
Well, they do check your passport on the West Shore as you're entering. So I had mine along. I did get through, but
I hold a part-time residency because of Trattoria 820 being over there. I'm allowed to go back and forth pretty freely. So
yeah, that mysterious eatery,
yeah.
Trattoria 820.
Yeah.
Wait, I still haven't gotten my invitation, by the way. Okay,
Keep
but
looking.
at the mall, a couple things I noticed. Can you take a guess at what the busiest place in the Capital City Mall was this afternoon?
The food court.
Well, close. Aunt Annie's pretzel stand,
Oh, they're
which is
still over there? Okay.
yeah, they have one just off the main
Yeah.
court, and there's always a line there.
Annie Ann's.
Annie Ann's, yeah. Do you
Yeah.
know where Annie Ann's is based?
Lancaster.
Gap, Pennsylvania. If you go down to the shore,
Yeah.
you go through Gap,
Yeah.
outside of Lancaster.
Right.
So it's actually not owned by Annie Ann anymore. She sold it a few years ago, so there's now
Right.
a big corporation running it. The last thing I wanted to let you know, with my granddaughter, I gave her a tour of Victoria's Secrets. I was looking for the men's
My
department.
God.
I
Oh
was looking
my
for the
God.
men's department.
What a mess. We're gonna have to have a serious discussion tomorrow morning.
Yeah, then that and my secret TikTok channel that you love to watch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll take care of this. The round table will get you back in on track tomorrow.
You'll whip me into shape. So
Yeah.
what's the story? You've gotten very involved with Lower Paxton Township affairs. What's happening tomorrow night?
Well, it all goes back to the comments that Pamela made a couple weeks ago, and we reported on it and talked about it the next day, and here we are, where she stepped down last week as chairperson for the board. Didn't show up to the meeting, which I find that to be totally disrespectful, but that's my opinion.
Right.
Um,
Oh, I
and
should
then,
say that these things that Anthony's saying, they're his
oh,
opinions.
yeah.
Doesn't represent what I think or my staff or the accountant. This is when Anthony's talking, he's on his own.
Yeah,
I have to
so
cover myself for liability
yeah, I
reasons.
get it. I get it. Maybe you should just have a lawyer sitting in that shed with you while I'm on.
Yeah, the little buzzer, you get
Yeah, yeah.
whenever you're saying something.
So, but that's all, but it's just getting everybody involved. It has nothing to do with whether this board's Democratic or Republican. It's for the township, and it's for that's all we're going for, is what's doing the best for this township.
Yeah, I think you agree with me, and anyone who watches and listens to what I have to say knows that I'm a proponent of nonpartisan elections for local officials, where if you go into the voting booth, you're not going to see R's and D's or Republicans and Democrats listed. It's going to be just names, and 75% of the states in the United States have that set up. We're in the 25% minority.
I just think it's important that this board gets on track and finally does some business. What have they done since they've taken office?
They've done the 8 hours
Pres-
paid for to be a volunteer.
Right, that's
They
it.
caught up. They caught up the minutes. That really wasn't the board. That's the staff.
That's the staff. They got W-2s out on time.
Yeah, and that's the
Yeah,
accounting
that's
department,
the
right?
accounting department, right? That's
But
I'm being facetious when I say it, because Pamela made it a big point to point that out, that they got W-2s out on time. It's really not an issue that she needs to worry about.
yeah, and that's the other thing I want to point out. That again, going back, this is an apolitical thing. I still dare anyone to tell me the politics of wastewater, treating wastewater and plowing streets. I mean, local government provides basic services. That's what it's all about.
You have
It's
three or four people that have, and it's the same three or four people, and they are not listening or reading what we're saying when we make these posts. They just keep going back to the same thing. When it was Pamela, the same person labeled me as a racist. Well, it has
mhm.
nothing to do with that. And, we explained that in last week's uh, show that you had. So, you know, tomorrow night they're having a reorganization meeting.
Right.
And I guess from the minutes, or from the board notes, I lost my train of thought. But, with the meeting tomorrow night, they're not even taking public comment prior to the reorganization.
Yeah,
And
just so you know,
and
in January when they did it, they didn't take public comment there
when
either.
so I look back on that, and apparently they did, but I'll have to check. Maybe you're right on that. But I was talking to someone earlier, and then a person
Yeah.
earlier today, and I thought that when they
Yeah.
switched from Alan to
Well,
Laura, they had public comment.
I don't think they did,
Okay, maybe they
and
didn't.
that's
I could be mistaken then.
but I've never seen it done in other municipalities when they organize. I mean, they're not supposed to meet and figure things out ahead of time, but they always do. I mean, it's
Right.
sort of, and they come out and they just form very routinely go through, make motions, and put people in these offices. And it sounds the scuttlebutt is that's already been determined for tomorrow night as well. But
Right.
I've not confirmed that, so I'm not going to talk about any of that kind of stuff.
And the
But
other controversy that started over the weekend was the comments I made about Charles Stewart's son-in-law being on the zoning board. How does that
right,
happen when a guy moves to town late last fall, early winter? I think it was. I think I heard it was October, November. He moved into town from Baltimore, Maryland.
right.
What qualifications does he have to be on the zoning board? And
Well,
this is the same, this is the exact thing that Charles spoke about while campaigning, is backroom deals and political favors. Here we are.
yeah, it doesn't look good, but I think in a lot of cases, people have to understand with these local governments, they have a hard time filling all these volunteer spots. So I mean, it's possible that they didn't have anyone. Dr. Stewart recommended his son-in-law, and there you go. But I think I think Dr. Stewart should come forward and explain how that happened. I mean, that would clear out all the mystery and you know, was it a backroom deal? I doubt it, but I mean, he should
Well,
address it.
we can't say we doubt it. I mean, it's my opinion. I mean, he went on a
Right.
long rant and answered nothing. But that's Charles, right? So
Well,
tomorrow night, I think it's important for people to show up to the meeting, and during public comment after the reorganization, like you said, it's already set in stone what they're going to do and who's going to be in charge. And if you go just based on experience on that board to kind of get the ship moving in the right direction,
hmm
you know, I would choose Robin. And and it's no secret that I campaigned hard against. For I was
right.
behind John, but I've accepted the results of the election. They're the board, but they haven't done anything,
Well,
and
it doesn't appear like they're working together either.
they're not. Yeah, they're not working with Robin. They're not including her in anything, and that's just not good. That you don't work together as a team, and it's for the township. They work for us.
Yeah, it's we the people. We provide the information. Many times people in their position don't get feedback. But we're giving them feedback. I don't know how many times I've gone down my list of priorities. But that's where
Economic development and the
you said human resources
human
person hire.
resources person. Yeah, but they still haven't answered anything on economic development. And a simple thing, if you go back to Alan McCormick spoke on this last week when he got up.
Yeah.
The fireworks, they can't even make a simple decision
No.
on fireworks. I
No,
mean,
not
it's
yet.
the 250th celebration. We should definitely have fireworks this year, but they
But
can't even make a decision on that.
they're making a decision by taking no action, which means they're voting by no action not to have them. I mean, that's what's
Yeah.
happening. But here's my big point would be tonight that we need to make a transition from all this infighting among the board, among people in the comments of Facebook and all this,
Yeah.
and move toward what do we need to do to make this township address issues that are out there that we mentioned just a few seconds ago. Because that transition needs to take place. And it's not, and again, it's not, I mean, you've said it and people aren't listening to you, Anthony, that it's not a Republican versus a Democrat thing. It's working together to fix up the township. And right now, I'm starting a new political party. Maybe for local government, and I'm not talking about state or federal. For local government, I'd like you to join my neighbor party. We're just neighbors working together.
I don't
That's going to
know.
be. You want to
I'll
join that
talk.
neighbor party?
I'll talk to my advisors tomorrow morning and see what they say. There's one in particular I want to ask his opinion.
Well, if you want to join my neighbor party, you're out there. Put it in the comments. I'll get that. We'll have an organizational meeting here in a month or so.
But seriously, there's the same three or four people
Yeah.
that are just hateful comments, and to me, I love it. But I know you don't like it. It gets you upset and
It
whatever. But
doesn't.
I can handle it. But
I
like
can
Tom,
handle it. I just
that
get
Tom,
tired of people complaining to me
yeah,
about it.
right. Just complaining. I mean, Tom Gingrich. How many times have you asked him to come on the show and debate this
Yeah,
issue?
we have sought people. No one has signed up. We haven't found the
No.
right person. So
Get off the keyboard and get on the microphone.
yeah, yeah.
Any questions tonight on these comments? I can't see anything.
Oh, look, yeah. There's 5 comments. Let's see what they are.
Uh,
All right.
we're echoing, my wife said.
I don't know how to do that. So Jeff Clare says they do not want to work with Republicans. And then something we
Oh,
said, Jeff Clare gave a thumbs up, and then we are at the crossroads with 1,000 new homes coming in. So yeah, that's another issue, development issues, working with the school district and all that.
that was the other issue I wanted to bring up. So I
Okay.
spoke to someone last week and they offered their help on an interim with the economic development. Charles Stewart said they're with the other party. We're not working with them. Now, how's
Okay.
that fair to the township?
Again, it's not a Republican versus a
That's
Democrat
right.
thing.
That's right. They just don't want to work together. And it just blows my mind because we all live here.
Yeah, though, what's happened? We'll close the session down as far as the township. Think about the big picture. The big picture is that for probably a century, this particular part of the world, Lower Paxton Township, has been operated by Republicans. Deep red area. Over the last decade, that's changed, and now there's more Democrats. So it's a new day, a new world around here, and we're going to have to learn how to work together. I mean, that's really what it's coming down to. If we're going to be divided and we're going to look at each other as R or D, it's not going to work. You're
Right.
going to have to look at yourselves as neighbors. That's where we're because it's not political issues. It's not abortion. It's not war. It's not immigration. It's not any of these things
It's
that are
safe
bandied
parks. It's
about.
good roads. It's
Right.
just bringing good business to the township. That's right.
Exactly.
So, uh, listen, the other thing is Bill Minsker on tonight. Did he comment? Because
Um,
I want to find out if that comment that he made about the first new home being built in the village in 100 years is true. I'd like him to,
he
confirm
probably
that.
isn't because I messed up his life when we moved it from Sunday to Monday. Bill's involved in a lot of organizations, and Monday's a big meeting night for him.
Okay.
I have
No
to talk to
other
him separately.
questions? No comments?
No, just Jeff and Teresa with we're echoing. You're echoing. Somebody's echoing.
She said I'm echoing. She's always yelling at me. I get 45 minutes on Monday night not to get yelled at.
Well, you know what I'm dealing with now that my wife and I aren't working. You know what's happening now at my place?
What?
My wife is wiping up the floor in the kitchen like multiple times every day. I can't walk in the kitchen now, Anthony. If I
Yeah.
leave a mark, she's there wiping it up.
What are you doing in the kitchen? Don't you just yell from the other room, get you a sandwich, a drink? I mean, what are you
Well,
doing
I
in there?
I just try and tiptoe through there.
Oh, do you?
Anthony, thanks for your help as always.
Hey,
And
I wanted to ask you one last
yeah,
thing. What was that picture of that house you posted earlier today? The big home. I didn't get to
oh,
read the post. Where was that?
that was in Stray Winds, the mansion, the
Oh,
farm.
oh, the original. Okay, all right,
Yeah, what they
gotcha.
I forget the name. That there's a name tied to it in my comments, but a couple of people identified it.
Yeah, it was a Stabler farm
Yeah.
back
All
in
right.
Stray Winds. Yeah.
So Anthony,
Okay.
the other thing I want people to know as you exit the stage and go to bed, get some sleep, is that um,
Five. I'm up at 5.
up at 5, you without you, what we're doing now wouldn't be possible because you've been responsible for bringing in a lion's share of our funding at this point. So I want to thank you and the people in your circle that have been helpful to this operation.
Bill, you got a great thing going. It's this township, this area needs your source for news, and no matter what you do, there's going to be haters, and
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. I love it.
Well, the other thing that people don't realize is this isn't a new thing. You and I doing things on video. We were
Yeah.
years ago at St. Thomas Roasters. You were on regularly, and I'd be doing these live broadcasts. I'd see the numbers growing as you show up. People are tuning in to see what you're saying, and this is years ago.
They just
You're
don't recognize me now because I was 100 pounds heavier
yeah.
then. That was before heart disease.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow morning, buddy.
All right, I'll see you. Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, we're going to continue on with our show here. Thanks to Anthony again for helping out. What you're watching is Linglestown Gazette live. And to slate it, we're on Monday, February 16th, sponsored by Blue Line Pools and Outdoor Living. Um, let's see what we're going to move on to here. We're going to just let you know that hopefully starting next week, we're going to have a new segment called our Business Spotlight. If you watch the Facebook page where everything's at so far, we don't have the website up yet. I'm starting to just randomly pick out businesses that are active on Facebook and spotlighting them on Linglestown Gazette to sort of just give them some exposure. There may be some things that people aren't aware of that are out there that could serve you in one way or the other. So there's no cost to come on. The spotlight would actually have an owner or a representative from a local business come on for a brief interview, and they'd be able to tell you, the viewer, what they're doing with their business, where they're located, how long they've been in business, all that kind of thing. And then, so beyond that, we just want them to at least consider becoming a business sponsor. We have a couple very affordable packages that local businesses could use, not really advertise, but just get word out about what they do and maybe educate our viewers what they do and how they can help you. So that's going to be a new segment. I don't have that tonight. Just really came up with that idea after some discussions over the weekend. And then we're going to, well, thanks to Linglestown Gazette Sports, we do have a brief sports report on Central Dauphin School District sports, high school sports, all about basketball tonight. We're moving into the District 3 playoffs. Actually, tonight, the Central Dauphin girls are playing as you're watching this live. And last week, they ended up they were runner-up, the second place. I can't say that, runners-up. In the Mid-Penn Conference, this is the conference locally where they play throughout the season, they had a 46 to 36 win, 10-point win over Middletown in the semifinal round, and then lost a heartbreaker in the final this past Friday, 39-37, lost to Mechanicsburg. The Wildcats took the championship, so the Central Dauphin girls basketball team ended up in second. And tonight, as we're speaking, they're playing rival Cumberland Valley at Central Dauphin High School in the opening round of the District 3 tournament. So that's the girls. And the boys, they came home the victors. Central Dauphin boys were champions of the Mid-Penn Conference. In the semifinal round, they won 83-59 over Greencastle Antrim down the southern part of our state, central Pennsylvania, southern part. And then in the final, and I actually watched this live, sometimes PennLive.com broadcasts these games live. On a Friday, they did that. Central Dauphin boys were matched up with the Bishop McDevitt Crusaders in the final of the Mid-Penn Conference tournament. And in a last second, about 5 seconds to go, I'm probably going to mess this young man's name up. Halil Roberts, number 10, got the winning bucket. Bishop McDevitt went down the court, threw up a last chance hope, and it fell short. They just didn't have enough time to set up a play. So that with that last few seconds with that layup that Cahill had, that put us in the winning that championship. And they'll be playing tomorrow night at Central Dauphin High School. Let's see where they're going to be playing here. They're going to be playing number 16 seed Manheim Township. So Central Dauphin boys are the number 1 seed. They are going to play the bottom of the seeding, number 16 Manheim Township. So on paper they should win, and I would bet money they will. So that's the first round game tomorrow night at Central Dauphin. That game starts at 7 p.m. And also good news about Central Dauphin East Panthers boys team. They ended up the 14th seed in this same tournament, the District 3 tournament, and they'll be in Red Lion tomorrow night playing the number 3 seed Red Lion team. So congratulations to the Central Dauphin East team for making the playoffs. I don't think they've done that for a few years, so that's great news for them. And I believe that's it. So again, if you have time to, I'm going to be at the township meeting. But if you aren't going to the township meeting and maybe you're going to watch it on replay here on the internet on the township website or on YouTube, you can go to the game. And Central Dauphin's boys team is pretty darn good. So you be an entertaining matchup, hopefully with a win. Now, where we go from there? Just a final segment, new news. And ideally, when you do new news, you have to have someone echo you. I don't have that, so I can't pull off that effect. I do have a photo I wanted to show you. I did this once before, but I don't think a lot of people saw it. Put this up. You may recognize these signs. It was on Linglestown Gazette a number of weeks ago. This is Route 22, heading towards the bridge that crosses over I-83 as you're heading into Susquehanna Township. You know, you go by the mall and then you hit this bridge, and these two signs, overhead signs, a lot of people complain about them because if you're in that left lane under the sign 283 and you don't know where you're going, you're gonna miss the the off ramp because the off ramp is on the other side, on the 281 side. So it's a very confusing sign setup. I was told by a PennDOT representative that this sign setup actually meets PennDOT regulations, but the big but is it doesn't really help motorists very much. So they're going to be taking a look at this and actually changing this around somehow. I did not get exactly how they're going to do it, but we'll have to just keep an eye on these signs and see if they do somehow change it around so it makes sense that you have to be over on the right lane to get on 83 in this particular spot. So that's one of the things I said I would work on. And the PennDOT representative watches Linglestown Gazette Facebook page, probably takes a look at some of these videos, and it's actually paying off. So look for that to change. And then let's get rid of that picture. Don't have much new news tonight. And tomorrow night, as Anthony and I talked about, the Lower Paxton Township Board of Supervisors will be meeting at 7 o'clock at the Municipal Center. That's at 425 Prince Street. The big action item is going to be right after they gavel themselves in to reorganize. And Anthony made a pitch for Robin Lindsay to be the chairperson. I also want just to balance things out. Last week, Vice Chairman John Campbell ran the meeting, did a fine job. And if you don't know John, I don't have his picture here, but if you don't know him, he has quite an extensive background with financial companies, banks, different things like that. Had was an executive with that kind of thing. Also, he's been on board of directors of various associations and organizations. So he's familiar with running meetings, being in meetings. He's not a newbie there at all. And it showed because he knew what he was doing running the meeting. So John certainly would be a viable candidate, no doubt about it. And if you've been monitoring the show, I've said multiple times that I would like to see John be the chairperson. So we'll see what happens. Again, it seems like they may have a decision made, but we won't know until the meeting actually takes place tomorrow night. And then the other good thing to watch, and this is every meeting, because with Lower Paxton Township, this part of the meeting has been darn entertaining, and I know some people watch it just to see what's going to happen, and that's public comment. If you're not familiar with public comment, every public meeting that the township runs gives people in the audience a chance to stand up, identify themselves, give their address, and then they have 5 minutes to share whatever they want to related to township business. Okay, you're not going to talk about the weather or different things like that, but you could talk about township business that's not on the agenda. There's not much on the agenda tomorrow night, so you could pretty much talk about anything that's happening with the township. So you have that opportunity every time. You never know who's going to show up. You never know what they're going to talk about. This past meeting, last Tuesday, I believe it was, a gentleman stood up who lives in our township and for like 4.5 minutes talked about the environmental hazards of road salt. So he gave us a seminar on road salt, how just a little bit of road salt is going to taint so many gallons of water. And you would have thought the world was ending, but I know that's an issue, and because it does pollute, but I don't know if it's quite that drastic. But anyways, so that was the highlight last week, beyond Anthony and a few other people talking about economic development and other issues. So let me check the comments, see if there's anything else. I appreciate everyone that's come out to take a look at the show. Donnie Paul says, kudos on the business spotlight. Pink Bungalow, PA, great idea to spotlight local businesses. Thank you for your service. Appreciate it. I love doing this. And that pretty much wraps it up. So thanks for coming out tonight, and we'll get you up to date. I may do a reporter's notebook tomorrow after the meeting. I did that last week, and we'll be back You never know. If something big happens, I jump on here and working on different things. But we'll definitely be back next Monday for a new edition of Linglestown Gazette Live. This is Bill Bostic signing off, and we'll see you then next time around. Take care.